engulfing our country in the form of news. The nakedness, the nudity of is defended and foisted upon the people by a vociferous...
Hello? Violent J? It's 3:30 in the fucking morning. You want me to come over?
What did I just fucking say?
Now?
The fucking it's insane, too.
Well, what about my cat? Who's gonna feed my cat?
Said the fucking insane,
Well, yeah, sure, he's got arms, and I guess he's got hands, but he don't have thumbs, and he can't use the microwave. Okay. Give me 15 minutes.
Only the satisfaction of sleep. Darkness from which it came.
Hey, boys and girls, it's 99 time. Happy J the Clown has a nursery rhyme. It's about the boogie woogie man. Keep your light on as long as you can. Cause when it cuts off, so does your head. Boogie woogie woogie waits under your bed with a shake. Spah, up through the bottom. Little Jimmy Jimmy. Got him.
It's the one and only boogeyman. He creeps, he hides, he sneaks, he slides. If your little feetsies are hanging off the edge of the bed, you're running out of stumps, motherfucker.
Light fills the room that you sleep in. Things go up in the night, me creeping out. Fuck, I stubbed my toe. If you just quit leaving your shit all over the fucking floor. Fuck it, you're dead anyway, and I'ma leave your head smack dead in the hallway. In the morning when your daddy walks out, his foot's in your mouth thanks to the boogeyman.
The insatiable curiosity of youth will cause him to delve deeper and deeper into...
I was kinda expecting Violent J to be meeting me at the airport with flowers, but sadly that wasn't the case, and I had to find my own way to the venue. I guess because he's a rap superstar, it would be too unbecoming of him to do so. When I arrived at the location that Violent J, or the Duke, had directed me to, it became clear I was in the right place. Excuse me, miss, you forgot your underwears. Hey, Prince Harry, where's Megan? Oh, there she is. Although maybe right was the wrong word. Hey, Chief, how's it going? I loved you in School of Rock. I'm gonna need to see some ID. Well, in case you want to apply for a fishing license. Jesus Christ, don't these people care about tooth decay? The American Dental Society warned that carbonated drinks are the enemy. You might as well be sucking off the tooth fairy. But I guess Violent J doesn't have to worry about that, because he's got rapper's diamond teeth. Now, for this film to make any sense at all, I gotta first tell you guys who I am. My name is DEADBUG Says, and I'm a filmmaker, an influencer. And when someone told me that Violent J out of Insane Clown Posse shouted me out, I was honored.
DEADBUG Says. Go to DEADBUG Says. The fact is, his balls are fucking huge, and he don't give a fuck what he's saying. He does such a well job of editing it. I would love this guy to do a video for it.
Shortly afterwards, his people reached out to me, and after discussing my testicular glories for a short while, they asked me if I'd be interested in directing an ICP music video. And I shit myself. Literally. Ah, jeez. Lucky I had plastic on the couch. And from that moment on, me and the Duke became tighter than the Velcro strap on a cripple's boot.
Hello.
FYI, this is a cripple's boot here, and there's the strap. And after texting back and forth for a while, he invited me down to experience the life of a juggalo. But then I realized that these people look like a bunch of fucking mentals, and I don't know anything about ICP. Could I be setting myself up for stranger danger?
Free kittens? Oh boy.
Yeah, sure, I was always aware of Insane Clown Posse in my peripheral cultural background growing up, but still, they weren't on MTV, or playing on a car stereo, or on a magazine cover.
Aren't they dreamy?
And after a little poking around, I discovered that Violent J and Shaggy met in 1985. And maybe it was because they were both flushed out of the same shithole, or it was a mutual appreciation of wrestling and hip-hop. They hit it off right away. And they started holding backyard wrestling matches. handing out flyers around the neighborhood, or Violent J's mother swiping hot dogs from her job as a cleaner, trying to hustle up an audience for her son. Or Violent J eventually becoming a professional wrestler, calling himself Corporal Daryl Daniels. No legitimate military would hire Violent J to wrestle for him, well, except for maybe France. But I guess it didn't matter, because he was already on his path. But it was their own love of hip-hop and elements of wrestling that made the Friends decide to get their own crew together, originally calling themselves the JJ Boys. From there, it was the Inner City Posse, with members D Lyrical and Kid Villain, before finally settling on Insane Clown Posse, with Shaggy's brother John Kick Jazz leaving just after they got the first record deal, with replacement Greasy stepping in a bit before settling on the final lineup. And from there, they were on their way to making their dreams come true. But be careful what you wish for, because more money brings more problems. And controversy was never far behind the duo, even willing to get themselves on the bill of the notorious Woodstock 99. A festival now synonymous with corporate greed. But while everyone else was stuffing the money in their pockets, ICP were different, living up to their Robin Hood image, kicking out beach balls with $100 and $500 bills taped to them, protesting ticket prices and the blatant profiteering of concession stands. Peace and love my ass. I know I wouldn't mind a piece of that. Did I say that out loud? I'm a bad man. And although known for their sick beats, over the years, ICP have also been known for their beefs and never been shy about voicing their opinions.
Care about the audience?
I care very much about the audience.
All right. You said yesterday,
Did your nuts drop yet?
did you drop your testicles yet?
Right.
To a 12-year-old.
That's right. That's exactly
How-
right. Show me the neighborhood where a 12-year-old kid doesn't know what a pair of balls are yet. What neighborhood or what fantasy are we living in where you think your 12-year-old kids don't know what that is
No,
yet?
I know, but what good does it do that kid at 12 to hear you say that to him?
It's like a relief, like, yeah, you treat me like, for real, it's real to the kid.
And when Violent J and Bill O'Reilly went live on TV talking about a 12-year-old's nutsack, there were other beefs. The biggest beef was in 2011 when the FBI put the Juggalo on the FBI's top 10 gang list, coming to a head when the Juggalos marched on Washington, D.C., demanding to have it removed, taking their gripe all the way to the Supreme Court.
A lot of people don't want discrimination in this country anymore, man.
With whoop whoop being their battle cry. And although it's been a career-long beef with radio stations and MTV who failed to promote them, they've still become a household name. Just maybe not the household that you'd want to visit. Why am I so thirsty all of a sudden? But despite all this, Insane Clown Posse, better known as ICP, have just kept keeping on. And they're still leaving shit on the walls, balls deep in infamy. And now here I am, in the heart of the Juggalo. FYI, that's not me. I am now in the belly of the beast, about to meet the Duke. FYI, this isn't me either, okay? After making my way around the building, having no idea where I was, because there was no one there helping me, my instincts told me that I was in the proximity of the Duke, and I was getting nervous. And then, there was his dressing room. No bodyguards, no nothing. So I figured I'd just walk in and say, hey, what the fuck? But then it occurred to me, what if he's packing heat? I don't even have any medical insurance. And the FBI say he is the leader of a gang, but I'm going in. VJ, what the fuck, brother? Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is, that's what I'm saying.
And admittedly, although half the times I didn't know what the fuck he was saying, I still realized I wanted to really get to know Violent J or the Duke. And the first thing I wanted to ask him was what would a young Joe Bruce think of the character that he had become today? Would he be surprised at the success and how far him and his best friend had come from such humble beginnings?
Well, number one, when we started, failure wasn't an option. You know, that's really it. You know, people call it the secret. People call it the laws of attraction. But if you know something, I'm not saying you're hoping for it or you want it or you're praying, you know what I mean? But you know, that's what you're gonna do. You know, I'm gonna be a rapper. I'm gonna be a rapper for a living. You know it. Failure's not an option. You can't hope and wish and wait for somebody to come take you and make you famous. If you know that's what you're gonna do, you're gonna get up and do it, you know? So we didn't get no record deal. We just pressed up CDs ourselves. Like I worked at a gas station, you know what I mean? We worked around the clock and we pressed up CDs, drove them around to the record stores and sold them. And they started selling more and more, so then finally we could quit and just do that. And we would supply them ourselves. Then the distributor called and was like, hey man, you guys are moving units. We start sending it to the distributor. Next thing you know, our shit's nationwide. We did it ourselves, you know? We just never made those connections to get that invite to MTV Music Awards. We never made those friendships, those business friendships. We don't have a hit. ICP doesn't have a hit.
And yeah, sure, ICP don't have any hits. But it's hard not to argue that their tunes stick into your head like an industrial nail, hammered through your skull into your brain. And for the juggalos who attend their shows, it seems more like a religious experience than a concert, with its worshippers kneeling at the altar of the clown.
You don't care, there's fucking rain of blood everywhere. Everybody put your hands in the air like you don't care. It is fucking rain of blood everywhere. Everybody put your hands in the air like you don't care.
And as I watched an audience getting skull fucked and ICP dropping their beats, I still wondered how mainstream success had eluded them.
Lollapalooza tour or Warped Tour or fucking any of these, you know what I'm saying? We just always toured ourselves, did our own thing in the Juggalo world, and over the years, it was all we knew. You know what I'm saying? Like we would have events here and there with other artists that would come in, you know, but you know, like at the gathering, our festival every year, we bring other artists. Some of them get booed off terribly, other ones turn it out, you know, but we did this because there was no other option. You know what I'm saying? It would be nice to have our albums reviewed in fucking Billboard or Rolling Stone and, you know, see it get stars and shit, you know what I mean? It just never happened for us because we're not in that world. We never had those publicists that would get us in the magazine. We just weren't part of the club.
You're more infamous than you're famous.
Yeah. ICP's notoriety is way bigger than our actual success. It's so different. And the main reason we have notoriety everywhere is because of our fans, the Juggalos. They're the reason we're even legit. They're the reason we even count at all. And I've read reviews in the papers where they say the show was great. The only people there were enjoying themselves were the Juggalos. You know, I thought the show was horrible, but you know, and I'm like, what the fuck are Juggalos at the end of the day? People. So the only people enjoying the shows were the people. You know what I'm saying? It's like the only ones that follow you guys are your Juggalos. You know what I mean? Fucking people, fans. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like saying the only person enjoying the steak were the meat eaters.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say there probably weren't a lot of vegetarians in the ICP audience.
Like Richard Bruce, and you got something to say? Say thanks for nothing. My deadbeat dad, my deadbeat dad. Mr. Richard Bruce is a deadbeat dad. Somewhere in Arizona, a prison guard. It figures you be a fucking pig in the yard. Wherever you are, wherever you go, my family tree will always know what a hoe Richard Bruce was and is. Or is it Rick? You ain't worth this beat, bitch. You make me sick. Fuck my dad, fuck my deadbeat dad. Punk bitch couldn't hang, and I'm glad. If your head's like Richard Bruce and you got something to say, scream thanks for nothing. Fuck my dad.
I got the feeling, listening to some of Violent J's lyrics, that his father might not be on his Christmas card mailing list.
Scream thanks for nothing, bitch.
But despite having a career that has sustained itself over 3 decades, when trends come and trends go, you can't help but feel that ICP are equally cursed and blessed, with fate kicking him in the balls more than one time.
In 2011, this thing came out called the National Gang Assessment List in the FBI, and they had fucking, you know, the Aryan Nation, the Crips, MS-13, you know what I'm saying, the Bloods, Latin Counts, and Juggalos. Because, you know, how else do you explain 50 kids getting together in a park, right? All wearing the same thing, all dressed in kind of the same, and hanging out. In these small towns in America, they're like, that's a gang. We tried to sue the FBI 4 times, you know, because it fucked up our business and everything. Like our merchandise got pulled out of stores, you know, down to gang apparel. Our fucking insurance to do a concert went up, just like a fucking gang rally.
Most importantly, the juggalos were being affected. Because if you get popped with a little weed or something and you have a Hatchet Man tattoo, suddenly you're in their fucking database as a gang member. So you're not just gonna get your weed charge, you're gonna get your weed charge as a gang member. If you're fighting for custody with your ex over a child, their fucking attorney can say, Your Honor, this person is a legit gang member in the eyes of the government. And they're telling the truth because you're a fucking juggalo. I've never heard anything like that happening in rock and roll history. I know when NWA released Fuck the Police, they got a letter from the FBI. Give us a letter any day. We even had the ACLU on our side.
Discrimination based on the type of music a person listens to is flat out ridiculous and un-American.
It never even made it. So what happened was, we didn't have nothing else to do, but we did a march on Washington, you know what I'm saying? Didn't know if anybody was coming. People were saying that's a publicity stunt. It's exactly what it was. That we had to be, that was the only way we could let people know, hey, we're not cool with being labeled a gang.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know where this is supposed to end with the feds. I don't know if they see juggalos as some sort of sheep or testing grounds. If they get away with this, what's next? Who's next in line? But the thing is, they're not gonna get past us. They're not just gonna steamroll over juggalos. Fuck that!
I think people used to fear juggalos, hate juggalos, and juggalos received a lot of hate, bad reputation. Everybody says, you know, poor, scrubby, Midwestern drug users and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's how they identify it in the past. But I think over time, that image has changed. They move on their own. They're their own beast. They're their own creation. They're nothing we planned or blueprinted or thought would happen. Juggalos are something very real. I think it's one of the real last subcultures in America. They name drop juggalos in sitcoms and shit.
When I joined the insane clown posse, that is not the deal.
You know what I'm saying? Fuck, Elon Musk mentioned ICP in a tweet, you know? Hearing our band name used in Jeopardy and shit, you know what I mean?
The followers of the musical duo known by this crazy band name are called Juggalos.
Tom, what's the insane clown posse?
Yes.
Like that type of shit, like, is bigger now than it's ever been, ever in our career, you know? Even when we had 4 albums on the charts. Right now, you know, now that it's actually way much more underground, it's our lore, our reputation that is much stronger than what's actually happening. The Juggalo fan base is just, they're as loud as 1 million fans. They're as supportive as 1 million fans, but they're not millions of fans, you know what I'm saying?
I found it interesting about what the Duke said and being hated, and this going against them. But then I thought to myself, there are other fan bases of bands like Kiss, Metallica, Iron Maiden, and even Taylor Swift, whose fans are equally fanatical, and some would say more annoying, unreviled as much as the Juggalo. Which makes you wonder if it is a blatant discrimination against the white trash element of the ICP fan base. An unspoken bias of sorts. Kinda like that old comedian from the 60s, Groucho Marx, used to say, I wouldn't want to be part of any club that would have me as a member. But either way, I was about to discover the Juggalo up close and personal and come to my own conclusion.
So I guess these people by the door, they're not involved in anything. They're part of like the gaming part of the thing, so like they're not fans or nothing. And security.
If I'm being honest, I'd always been dubious about the meet and greet grift. A cash cow, a sucker born every minute, and that sort of thing. Just one more opportunity to squeeze another nickel out of the diehards who have more money than brains. But if the media is to be believed, the Juggalos don't have money or brains and live in their cars. But I was torn on this belief because what I knew from the Duke so far, money didn't appear to be his god. So when I asked to tag along, and the Duke agreed, I knew I had to keep an open mind. Because everything that I'd thought so far about ICP and my preconceptions have been wrong.
I'm gonna go get a cooler and some drinks, okay?
Yes. Oh, this is most toast down.
So, Duke, what usually happens at these meet and greets? I've never been to one.
They let 10 people in at a time. We sign their autographs, take pictures right there in front of that banner. And say hi, shoot the shit for a little bit. First we sign everybody's shit. It depends on how many people it is. First we sign everybody's shit, then they come back through for pictures. Because when you sign and then take a picture, it takes a really long time. So if you just sign all first, everybody come through and sign, and then you come through, the pictures are quick. You know what I'm saying? But stopping and doing it each time make your meet and greet go another 2 hours, you know?
So you try to get it done?
Yeah.
How long does it take?
I don't know how many people we got, but I'll tell you what, this is the hardest part, you know? It's a very emotional part. I don't know what to say to people. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to respond when some of the things they say. You know, when a kid comes up and shows you his little arms are tatted out, you know, with your shit, how do you respond? You know what I'm saying? I've been in this motherfucker 33 years, I still don't know how to respond. Neither does Joey, you know what I'm saying? Seriously, it's like, I don't know what to say to that, you know? I don't have a clue. And then when somebody comes up and tells you something hurtful, drama bomb style, and they're just like, Jay, you know, my son just died last week. And then they just look at you. And you understand that they probably get relief from your music, so they're hoping they get the same from you somehow directly. But I know I'm a fucking 9th grade educated idiot. I don't know what to fucking say to anything like that, except I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your loss. And I'm a very emotional man. So these can be really tough, you know what I'm saying?
Well, here I am amongst all these juggalos. And the first thing is that I don't feel like my life is endangered. Well, except for maybe by this joker, but I'll shank him later in the toilets. And everybody's hygiene here is fine. I came here with these airwicks hanging off my jacket for nothing. I'm lucky they believed me when I told them they were my collection of backstage passes from Lizzo concerts. And I felt like I'd unfairly judged the juggalos, and they were just fans like fans of any other rock band. Yeah, I know what you're thinking.
How you fellas doing today, man? Like that? That's what I said. So punch already was a really? 96, bro. I know they called you a week. Lead hanging. It was really dope. Like
And as I sat back and I observed, I realized that this wasn't a meet and greet. Well, at least not in the traditional sense. It seemed like a bunch of old friends getting together. I guess one could almost lament family. There certainly wasn't a rushed feeling about the event, and I was surprised at how relaxed both Shaggy and the Duke were. They even knew people's names, and without sounding fruity, I felt a kinship in the air.
Taken aback when you told your story about how these Joker cards came to you in your dream.
Yeah.
And as I looked at my watch knowing what time the band would do on stage, and that deadline went and passed, and they didn't even seem stressed about it, I had a newfound respect for both Shaggy and the Duke, because I doubt Axl Rose was ever laid on stage for the same reason.
See what you got. Juggle. You want to see this? You got it. You're my man. Hey, we do like all easy. Look at this. What happens when in the midst of the chaos?
Your dad is a huge ICP fan.
All right. Make him jealous. This is where.
I knew that Duke had a passion for wrestling, and in his younger years, he'd even been one.
Tonight, baby, for all the fam bam, whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop, ladies and gentlemen.
But I was surprised at how much it was still a part of his life.
I ain't talking about the 10,000 pounds of steel that you were too much of a coward to face me in.
Wrestling was everywhere. Hey, Chief, I don't want any trouble. I'm just looking for the shitter, that's all. And as I made my way around the Juggalo event, A freak show, if you will. It dawned on me that I was one of the few dudes who was wearing pants, or at least non-flammable ones. I should be the one who's laughing, but I'm afraid of being crushed.
Hold on. It's straight-laced juggler Joe Galley, always getting the scoop. I gotta talk to the boss, the man himself, Violent J. All the belts are on the line against the Southern Six. What are your thoughts?
Fun structure.
The Duke was certainly amongst his people, and it was easy to see how he'd started a couple of movies.
Juggler Weekend, this is our fucking house.
Because he sure has some acting chops.
We have a brand new world heavyweight champion, and you want to jump in and disrespect him at our house in front of our people?
It seemed to me that although a world-famous rapper, he was still a wrestler at heart. And seeing him interact with the wrestlers backstage, as well as all the other musicians and artists that he hangs out with, including myself. A filmmaker who has nothing to do with this world, I could tell that there was a mutual appreciation for their art. So I had to ask the Duke about all the different people he likes to hang out with at his get-togethers, because there was almost a carnival feel to it all.
A lot of times we invite our heroes, like we've had Ice Cube a couple times, you know, these are my fucking absolute heroes. We've had Ric Flair, you know what I'm saying? We've had the best wrestlers in the world at the gathering, you know? And I get to sit and interact with these people, and it's just never gotten normal. Like, I'm not one of them. I'm still the ninja, like, I can't believe I'm talking to him.
It was then that the Duke shocked me by including me in his appreciation society.
I respected you and your art. I respect your content so much, you know what I mean? I love your shit. I love your ability, your talent. It's inspiring.
Yeah, I wanted to meet you, and
hope by some chance, you know, you're like, damn, you're digging my shit the way I dig your shit.
And I have to say that I was surprised and even taken back by his compliment. And if I was a lesser man, I would have been moved to tears. But obviously I'm not a lesser man. And as I watched the concert from the sidelines, I thought to myself it were funny how many songs I recognized, almost subconsciously, like they'd been stuffed into my brain stems. And they're not all dark. Some of the songs are light, like Michael Jackson's Ball Sack.
It's been a rock, you with that. So straight, let me hit that. Ain't even wonder fake it. I done seen some folded up steak with the vacant. I saw naked in the crock pot. Baked up naked in the crock pot. But I don't gotta get me before I gotta lock. I gotta top go head to the limit. Oh, I'm sick. Do the tick-tick-tock. It don't quit. It don't quit. It don't quit. I say back around sick. I wanna think you think. Doctor told me, so it's like, oh. So I hate his friends, like I don't know. Oh, knife to the neck and I got some more.
Tagging along with the Duke, I'd started to notice that he was like a big kid. Although a big kid who could probably pick you up above his head and break you like a twig. If I had to be honest, I've never owned any ICP CDs or had any of their songs in my playlist. But after we became amigos, I started listening to ICP and enjoyed it. And was shocked to find out that one of my kids' best friends was actually a juggalo. And my neighbor's kids all knew Violent J from TikTok.
See, they brought it in for us.
And as I watched him work and his general interactions, I could see that he was across everything that was happening. And ICP's success, it wasn't no fluke. This is a man who fought for everything that he got. Watching him in the studio and on the stage, you could tell he ain't just phoning it in. He's playing for keeps. And there'd be many who'd say, at this stage in his career, that the Duke had earned the right to be lazy and complacent. And as I watched a man beat another man into unconsciousness with a rubber chicken, I tried to make sense of it all and find my own place in this world.
He's on the clock! He's working him with that massive cock!
And as I spoke with the Duke, there was no questioning his passion for it. Wrestling, not the rubber cock.
Intros are very important in wrestling. It shows your character. It's like half the match is about the intro, you know? The intro coming to the ring. That's every wrestler's, what they have to develop, you know? I just walk out though.
But wrestlers, you know, they have a certain thing they do or whatever. They have
Now
to
I'm
do.
looking at the Duke like some kind of aging gladiator going out into the Coliseum to slay one more time. It must have been similar to back in the day. In his backyard, his mom making hot dogs, him wrestling his friends, and like things had almost gone full circle now. Except for now, his backyard is the world. And the hot dogs are no longer free. They now charge $4 for them, and they're cold and greasy and smell like your grandmother. I could see by watching the Duke that he was just as his home in the ring as he were on the stage and walking up the audience. But I guess they weren't that much different, really. It's all about performing, and you were born to perform. There was sometimes while we were hanging out that I just sat back in the corner and I observed, and I thought, what the fuck? Am I really hanging out with the guy from ICP? And I came to realize that he was like a clown-faced oracle, spitting out words of wisdom.
Anything on there. Instagram got car crashes, people fighting, violence. TikTok's like for little kids, you know?
I know, but like, if that stuff gets reported on Instagram, it also gets taken down too.
Yeah, but it's just, you know, it's way more lenient.
Well, yeah, but like...
I tried to write down all the words of wisdom and tasty quotes that the Duke were given, but I didn't have a pen, so I carved it into the couch with a penknife I stole from my Uber driver. But then the Duke told me I would probably have to pay for the damages. What the fuck? That? The bill I'm gonna get for watching porn in my hotel room? I'm gonna have to do a runner. Well, at least I stole a lamp and some slippers. Do you still drink? I thought you were on the wagon.
Yeah. Joey don't drink no more.
Oh, okay.
Come
Right now, you know, now that Monopoly and local radio are no longer in control, you know, the MTV monopoly and local radio and all that are gone, and now it's YouTube and the internet, and people can see what they want, you know. So our old videos are all being seen now and shit, you know, and our music is being heard and spread, and other people are like, that shit's cool, you know. And our success today is just better than it's ever been. And I'm happy to be old school. I'm happy to be considered a legend by people. You know, if fucking Post Malone comes to town, I can take my girlfriend to a show. You know what I'm saying? I like that shit. That shit is awesome. That's something I feel like we fought for and earned. You know what I mean?
Is it getting harder?
Oh yeah, it's getting harder. I got a bad knee. We're getting older. We both wear hearing aids. They get wet sometimes on stage. We're fucked. You know what I'm saying? I lost 60% of my hearing. You know, everybody's getting old. It's hard to admit, because in life, you're always getting stronger, faster, and better. But then at some point, it starts to go in the other direction. It's hard to face it and hard to admit it, but it's much easier than I thought.
You know, the rock guitarist Ted Nugent, who's also from Motor City, once said that complaining about losing your hearing from playing your music too loud is like complaining about losing your balls from too much fucking.
That's right. That's a good way to put it.
Fuck you. wicked clowns. Willing to sit and talk to the low breast ass men and counts. And everybody with clown up. Even sounds I never heard of. Roll into town and out with the big top, 4 cars down. And 2 boys to the drop. And when it goes, I'll back up and hit the road. Cause I don't wanna see your head explode. Toss me an axe and I'll toss you a dead chicken. At a buck, you get a 2 liter with him. And when he says I'm with the show, it's hocus pocus jocus. Good my
Well, you know, releasing albums and touring is monotonous. That's the nature of the business, you know what I mean? It's not an unenjoyable monotony, but that's the way it works, you know? Recreating yourself for every album, having a new theme, a new thing you're on, you know? And we enjoy it. We look at it like we're leaving our legacy, you know what I'm saying? And even though we're getting older, nothing changes, you know? I didn't think I'd be so inspired by young people. You know what I mean? I'm inspired by these young rappers coming out killing it. It makes me want to kill it, you know what I mean? I didn't know that would happen when I got this age. I thought I'd be bitter at everybody young. They don't do it like we used to do it, you know? But I'm excited about the world. I'm excited about the youth. I think I like the way the world's going. People are changing and people, you know, I like where it's going. It's been good for us so far.
You think things like TikTok helping you go mainstream?
Brother, TikTok, Instagram, those things are like windows to the world. You know what I mean? And if you're looking for a sound clip for a TikTok of somebody saying something dumb and stupid, there's no endless to that in ICP's records, especially the old shit. So yeah, TikTok has been a huge blessing. We had a single go gold just off TikTok doing something on it, you know what I mean? And that's meaning going gold in today's however fuck that works, we don't know. It used to mean you gotta sell 500,000 singles. I don't know what the fuck they're doing now, streams or whatever, but I know we got a gold record, you know what I mean? That makes me feel like, good, some people in the next generation are gonna have our back. You know what I mean? That's what everybody just wants to kind of leave a mark, you know, leave your legacy. And it feels good to see young people come around because I'm like, damn, they're still digging it, you know?
You know, I used to fear getting old. Me and Shaggy used to fight being labeled old school. We wanted to be relevant. We wanted to be current. Our whole career, it was like a fight to try to appear current and relevant. But once it was just undeniable that we're old school, it became the best, most rewarding part of our career. And I'm serious. It's like the race is over. You know what I'm saying? We can move at our own pace now. We don't have to tour like we used to. It feels like we've arrived. And getting respect from people that aren't juggalos it feels good, even though it also felt good using the fuel of being the most hated band, using that to succeed and keep driving, you know. But not being the most hated band feels damn fucking good, and I'm serious, man. Like if somebody writes a review and gives one of our albums or performances a positive review, that shit feels good, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like I used to say, I mean, I can say I don't give a fuck what a critic says, and I really don't when I read it and it's bullshit. But when I see that they're understanding what we're trying to do, you know what I mean? It feels good.
You've had a career that's spanning over 3 decades. Looking back, you got any regrets?
I mean, you know, there's things I've said on our old records that I'm not proud of. You know what I'm saying? You know, things we said back in the 90s and shit, it was a different time, you know, humor was different. There's a lot of things we said that I regret, you know, but I'll tell you what, man, regret is a motherfucker because you can't do nothing about it. You're sitting and beating yourself up over nothing. If you're the judge and jury of yourself, forgive yourself every time. Just know how that felt. Regrets hurts. People think all kind of shit about me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I can give a fuck less. There's so many fucking people. Who gives a fuck, you know? Listen, let me tell you something, brother. There's an art to not giving a fuck. I'm serious. It's an ability. Just keep moving forward. That's all you can do. Even if you lose a loved one, okay? Even if you lose your most cherished person, you gotta let that fucking steamroller roll over you. Because once you finally let it roll over you, you realize there's nowhere to go but forward. Keep moving. Giving up is where you fuck up.
Giving up is where you fuck up. I'm gonna try to find that written on a fridge magnet at the airport. Words to live by, the Duke style. As I was hanging out with the Duke, as much as I was, and although I'm no expert, or an egghead if you will, I was certainly starting to build my own character profile of him, starting to understand him more. Watching him and his girlfriend Sarah interact, it occurred to me that he's just a normal, typical guy. He even let me drink a Dr. Pepper from his own personal collection. Just another worker-class stiff. There were no airs and fancy smancy graces, and Shaggy was the same. They were just two typical guys, just doing a job. And we just hung out and talked a whole lot of shit.
Will you get a photo of us together?
Yeah, sure. And despite the Duke telling me that he's slowing down, watching his current performances next to old ones, I see no signs of it. And he just seems to be keeping on. And I guess he's just taking care of business.
Me and my ex will leave your head out in chalk. X is my buddy, he always makes me laugh. Me and my ex got big and spinal cords in half. My ex is my buddy, and when I wind him back, me and my ex will give your forehead all the crack. My ex is my buddy, I never leave without him. Me and my ex will leave your neck a bloody fountain. Chip, chip, chip. Everybody run! Murder me, murder me, murder me, fun! Take, take, everybody run! Murder me, murder me, murder me, fun! Take, my ex is my buddy, we right the planet wrong. Me and my ex leave big instead of Richie Long. My ex is my buddy, he never make me cry. Me and my ex will leave a pivot for your
Yeah, sure, fans come and go. Fans grow up and leave their heroes behind. It seems that ICP and their fans never read that memo.
Man, when I first came into it, because my cousin introduced me to Insane Clown Posse music and everything, the first thing I noticed is they accept everyone. So it's been like a big family. Like any concert, you know, that you go to, you have your little groups, but here, like everybody's just getting along with everybody.
Family, love, and acceptance, baby.
I love the magic of the Dark Carnival and everything they brought together as a whole in the community.
Family, family.
Violent J represents as a leader of the culture, founder, the creator of this shit, man. A big part of my childhood. Nothing but love for the man.
I love their wrestling and their music.
What I love about Insane Clown Posse is they bring us together. They bring people together that I've never thought I would meet. People that I've become friends with over the years and I see at the gathering or at shows.
You see, I've been a juggalo since 1995. I loved it so much, I got it tattooed right here on my shoulder.
Woo, woo, all the way from the 505 New Mexico.
Insane Clown Posse #1.
I mean, I grew up listening to him. My dad was listening to him before I was born, so I grew up listening to him as well.
Violent J represents the whole carnival, man. You know, follow the path, change your life.
And as my time with the Duke was ending and being around the Juggalos, it reminded me of a line from a movie I'd seen where the main character says, "Look at us all, we're losers, because we've all lost something." And then I realized, without even knowing it, that I'm a Juggalo too. And that I had lost, and coming on this trip, I had found. And all this stuff about family, it isn't a meaningless word that you stick on a t-shirt. It's something real, and I've experienced it. And I think somehow that that's why the Duke invited me, to teach me a lesson. Kinda like that old Christmas movie where that guy was flying around and flew into that guy's house and kidnapped him while he were in his underwear and brought him to different parts of his life so he could understand it. Except for I had my pants on and Violent J just booked me a plane ticket. But either way, I think this trip taught me a valuable lesson. At least I hope it did, or I spent $200 on a hotel porn bill for nothing. Looking back at your life, did you think this was where it would be?
In my mind, I always knew, it's just sound real conceited, but it's the truth. In my mind, I've always known two things, okay? I knew I'd never be broke, okay? I knew ICP would do well, you know, because there's only two of us and we're best friends and there's no chance of us going anywhere. You know, the band ain't gonna break up or something, it's just me and my buddy. And I knew I was gonna die early. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm gonna die early. I've known that my whole life, and it's nothing that I'm afraid of. You know what I'm saying? If I died today, I'd just be upset that I had to leave my kids, you know what I mean? But I would hug God first time I seen him, thinking he'd say, "Thank you for the blessed life. It's been a shit. I got no complaints." You know what I'm saying? If I was to die right now, my only upset would be upsetting my kids, you know? But I've lived the life of 100, man. That's how I feel, you know? The Juggalo love is so motherfucking thick and real and powerful.
That book says, no more.